Hello.
I am Ryan.
And I am not Ryan.
And I am totally thrown off my game now.
He was not expecting me to not introduce myself as him.
I am not Zach.
That's true. He's not,
but
whoever that is.
We are functionally literate.
We are.
Yeah.
Functionally.
Functionally.
Let's not go too far.
We're not experts, but we're not amateurs either.
Yeah, by now we're probably not.
No, we're seasoned at this.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
What are we doing today, Zach?
Today we are going to complete the story of Sir Lancelot in
right.
Morte d'Arthur.
That's right. In my copy, that is chapters 13 through 18.
In my copy, it's just the last little bit.
The last little bit.
It's not broken up that way.
Nah.
It's just one big chunk that's the tale of Sir Lancelot.
Yeah, so if you're just joining us, I am reading a really old digitized version of Le Morte d'Arthur that you can get on standard ebooks. Download it for free. There's a link in the episode description. Or if you want to save yourself the trouble of reading English older than Shakespeare, which is pretty difficult English, you can get Zach's version, which there's also a link for, which is in modern idiom. If you can't get Zach's version, you can probably get another version.
Yeah, I'm sure there's dozens of different renderings of it. It's a very old book.
Yeah. So anyways, we're talking about Lancelot. It's been a little bit since we've chatted about Lancelot. What do we remember?
Oh, boy. Let's see. Last thing I remember, he jumped out of a window to save Kay from 3 pursuing knights, and then stole Kay's armor to ride away unnoticed.
Yeah.
Which in Lancelot's case means he will be more harassed, not less.
Which is what he wants.
Right.
He wanted Kay to not be harassed.
Yeah, he was like, I'll save Kay some trouble. He can have my armor, and everybody's gonna think he's me, and he'll ride around and be like, oh, don't mess with him. And then I'll be in Kay's armor, and then I'll just big dick everybody that tries to mess with me.
That's right.
And they'll think it was Kay, and they'll be like, what's happening?
The last chapter we discussed, he did get into a fight with 3 knights on a long bridge. He got into a fight with Sir Gaunter and Sir Gilmore and Sir Reynold.
Okay,
they were brothers.
Yeah.
They were brothers.
Everybody's brothers.
And he got in a huge fight with them, and then he won, and he was like, hey, you go to Camelot at the Feast of Pentecost, and you yield to Sir Kay. And they were like, okay.
And they're like, but you're not Sir Kay. And he's like, shut up.
Yeah, they were like, we know you're not Sir Kay. You yield to Sir Kay. And he's like, no.
But that's what you're going to tell people, because I fucking said so. Yes, sir. Sorry.
Chapter 13. How Sir Lancelot jousted against 4 knights of the Round Table and overthrew them.
So, as Sir Lancelot du Lake is wont to do, he rode in a forest.
That's what you do.
That's how all these adventures start.
Yeah, you got to head to the wilderness, to the chaos beyond civilization, where magical things happen. Magic never happens in the city.
Yeah, none of these adventures ever happen in a city. What's that about?
The city is too tame, it's too normal, it's too familiar. Like, one of the things, this is a bit of a tangent, but it's something I've thought about recently, which is how amazing mundane things are.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, I went to Jeff City recently, and I drove over the Missouri River, and I was just like, meh, you know, like, didn't even think about it. And then later I was like, how many gallons of water every second just pass under that bridge? And you never think about how it's never run out.
No.
Never has someone gone to the Missouri River and be like, oh, we're out of water.
Now that would be
that'd be catastrophic.
Yeah.
But that's how much water moves through there.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it's that much water that fast for who knows how long, hundreds of thousands of years,
millennia,
and it's never run out.
Mm-mm.
That's amazing, but you never think about that.
With global warming, sometimes it will reverse.
That is pretty wild. That's crazy. That's another thing. You're just like, oh, it just turned around. You're like, the fuck you mean it turned around? The river turned around? Like, yeah.
Just started flowing the other way.
It's just this weird thing that happened.
Big issue they're having in Chicago right now. I mean, not like right now.
Yeah.
But it's happening more and more often now. Anyways, we're talking about Sir Lancelot.
Yeah. I'm just that's why I think all the adventures always happen out in the woods, because it's new. It's something you haven't seen before. Even though there's amazing things that you see every day, you just like it kind of the glamour wears off.
So he's in a forest. In a little valley, there are 4 knights hanging out under an oak tree. They were all King Arthur's men. One was Sir Sagramore le Desirous, and also Sir Ector de Maris, and of course, the dynamic duo, the cousins Sir Gawain and Sir Owain.
Gotta have those.
When these 4 knights saw Sir Lancelot, they, of course, thought it was Sir Kay, and they wanted to bully him.
They're like, look, it's little bitch-ass Kay.
Sir Sagramore is like, you know what? Sir Kay thinks he's so tough, let's see him prove it. So he grabs his spear. And
let's try to kill him. And if we fail, then maybe he'll be tough. That's crazy.
Sir Lancelot knew this was Sagramore straight away. They were acquaintances.
Mm-hmm.
So he takes a spear and just knocks him down.
Very nonchalant. It's just like, boop. I win.
Sagramore's like, behold, my fellows, you see the strength he has. That knight is much bigger than Sir Kay ever was. Now watch what I'm going to do to him. Sir Ector didn't want to be left out of the fun, so he grabbed the spear and whacked Lancelot. In response, Lancelot stabbed his shoulder, going through his shield and armor. So Ector and his horse fell down, but he held on to his spear. Sir Owain's like, by God, that's one strong knight. I bet he's killed Sir Kay. It looks like it'll be hard to fight him. 3 guesses what Owain does next.
Grabs his spear.
Yeah.
No.
He got it in one.
Nice.
So
the funny part of this whole interaction to me is that it's so flabbergasting to them that Kay might succeed.
Yeah.
That they're like, couldn't be him. He must be dead.
This guy killed 2 kings in one stroke of a spear.
Yeah.
Like,
and they're just like, no. He couldn't beat me though.
He's gone soft.
No way. And they're like, this guy's way bigger than Kay is. That can't be true either. Otherwise, Kay's armor wouldn't fit.
I don't think they mean literally bigger. Like, because they do say that a lot. And I was wondering about that too. And like,
maybe they mean like more correct, more manly.
Maybe, yeah.
Like this guy's.
I think they metaphorically mean bigger.
Yeah. Okay.
So, like, as you guessed, Owain grabbed the spear and goes to joust Lancelot. And Lancelot, of course, he knew this was his buddy Owain. And so he just flattened him so hard. Owain was just, he didn't even know where he was. He was so out of it. He was like, what happened?
It's like when you're roughhousing with someone you don't know that well, you kind of go easy on them.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I don't want to make him mad. We don't have that close relationship. And then like your best friend's trying to mess with you, and you're like, kidney shot. Like I'm
fucking pummel him.
Right. I'm gonna really let loose now because I dare him to get mad. You know, like.
I love that. He's just like, oh, I know that's Owain, so I'm gonna flatten him so hard he's gonna lose all sense of where he is. That's what I'm gonna do.
That's awesome.
So Gawain, always one for a fight. He said, take a wild guess.
Oh boy. Did he dismount?
No.
And say, gosh, you're just so good. And I don't want to be embarrassed. So I think we'll just let you go about your way.
Sir Gawain?
Yeah, you're right. He probably grabbed his spear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like, I must fight that night.
That sounds like him.
He grabbed his shield, he grabbed his spear, went at Lancelot. Lancelot, of course, knew this was Gawain. So they both hit each other's armor, and Gawain's spear burst into splinters.
Those spears are tough. Okay?
They are.
When you splinter one, that's a lot of force.
Yeah.
And it also means that Gawain was on target.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was the perfect hold, because if he was off, it would have just glanced.
Yeah.
If he held it the wrong way, it would have just snapped.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that it's splintered means all the force was on the center of that tip of the spear.
He hit Lancelot just right, just not strong enough.
Right.
Or maybe too strong.
Yeah. But still, that's Gawain.
Yeah. This is the same guy, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the guy who gets stronger as the sun rises?
Yes, his strength peaks at noon,
Yeah.
which I'm not saying it's exactly noon. It doesn't really specify.
No.
But it's probably getting around there because they're hanging out under a tree.
Yeah.
Like they're in the shade. That to me says...
It's midday.
It's getting close to noon or it's just past.
Gawain's spear bursts into splinters. Lancelot rushed him, which frightened Gawain's horse. So Gawain's horse rears back, knocking him onto the ground. He had to quickly dodge to avoid the horse stomping him, like just trampling him because it was scared. So Lancelot just passes him by, smiling, and he's like, God love this spear, for I've never had a better one in my hand.
That's true. He did just smite 4 dudes and it didn't break.
With one spear, yeah.
Yeah.
So the 4 knights went to each other and consoled themselves. Gawain's like, is this a joke? He took us all down with 1 spear. The other 3 of them called him a devil in battle, a mighty man, and one tough bastard.
Those are all compliments.
Yeah.
That's like you beat up some dudes and one just goes, that's a fucking devil man. You're like, that's right.
That's right.
Damn right I am.
So Gawain's like, you all say he is a strong man. I swear on my head that's Sir Lancelot. I know it by the way he rides. Let him go. When we go back to court, we will talk. So the chapter ends with them having much sorrow and as they go to recover their horses.
Yeah, just shame.
Yeah.
Just, oh.
It's like, we fought Lancelot. We didn't know it.
Until the end, they're like, damn motherfucker, I bet that's fucking Lancelot. Look at him. Kay doesn't ride like that.
Kay doesn't ride.
Kay
like that.
slouches or whatever.
I know how he rides. I know how Lancelot rides. That's
Kay
Lancelot.
rides soft. Rides like a soft man.
It does make me wonder because, again, like, I know nothing about horse riding. It does make me wonder if you can, like, if you know a man well enough, if you can tell the difference between how one man rides his horse versus how another man rides his horse.
I don't know. The thing is, I would think, because I don't know much about horse riding either, but I would think especially in like jousting, there's a proper technique. And so, assumably, everyone who knows the technique well enough would do it the same.
Yeah.
Or at least mostly the same. So maybe what's implied there is that like Lancelot is so much better.
He has his own way.
That they can tell, they're like, now look how perfect that execution is. Yeah. You know, like that's not Kay. Kay is not that seamless.
So these past couple episodes, I have been I'm notating how many paragraphs the chapters originally were before I translate them in modern idiom. Would you like to take a guess how many paragraphs chapter 13 was?
I'm going to give that one 5 paragraphs.
Nope. 3.
See, I was sitting here, I thought 3 paragraphs, 1 for each night. But then I gave 1 for the introduction of the situation.
Yeah.
And then 1 for the conclusion of the situation. I gave too much.
1 for the fighting.
Wow.
Yeah.
All the fighting was in 1 paragraph?
So the second paragraph starts where Uwain's like, I think that guy killed Sir Kay.
Okay.
The third paragraph starts when the knights are all talking to each other and are like that guy's one strong bastard. That's the third paragraph.
Huh. I mean, that's a choice. I guess.
Chapter 14. How Sir Lancelot followed a brachet into a castle, where he found a dead knight, and how he after was required of a damsel to heal her brother.
So the book is becoming these like little tales now. Like the narrative at this point is like, we leave that last story to tell you about this other story to do with Lancelot and a hunting dog he found in the forest.
Yeah.
I remember when we were first talking about this story, you told me that you were very lost by this point in the narrative because you were like, because it felt like how you imagined it felt like for me, where it was like, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened.
Yeah, there's very little effort made to connect these stories together. They're just kind of like these little snippets where it's like, here's a little interesting fact about Lancelot's life.
Yeah.
And then now here's another little interesting fact. But they're disconnected facts. And you're like, why is that? Why does one follow the other? There doesn't seem to be any sense to it.
I don't think there is. I don't think there's supposed to be. I feel like what happened is what happens a lot of times with stories like these. I think all of these little stories about Lancelot are just that, like little stories, like little myths of Lancelot, tales of Lancelot. And then at some point, I imagine with the Vulgate cycle, Vulgate just tried to interweave them all into one continuous narrative. And maybe it conveyed better in the original text, but we don't have that. We've got the abridgment that Mallory gave us, and this is what we got.
Yeah.
So Lancelot's following after this hunting dog. The dog looked like it was searching for a wounded deer. So he followed the dog and eventually found on the ground a large blood spatter. So Lancelot kept riding after the dog. The dog led him through marshlands, and there he saw this old manor. So the dog ran in that direction, going over an old bridge. Lancelot went over the bridge, and the bridge, it was old and falling apart, but he made it across anyway. And then he went into a great hall where he saw a dead knight. The dog licked the man's wounds. And then this weeping woman appears. She's crying. She's wringing her hands. And she says to Lancelot, "Oh, knight, you have brought me too much sorrow." And Lancelot's like, "Why do you say that? I didn't do this knight any harm. I was just following the dog. She was following a blood trail. So please, fair lady, do not be upset with me." And I quote, "For I am full sore aggrieved of your grievance."
He said, whoa, whoa, whoa. You're complaining. Hurts my feelings.
I don't like that you're complaining, and I don't like that you think I did it.
Yeah.
I didn't do it. I just followed the dog.
He said, whoa, whoa, whoa. This is your fucking mess. All right, I didn't do that.
And so then the lady says, "Truly, Sir Knight, I know it was not you who killed my husband. The one who did that is badly wounded and not likely to recover. That I assure you." "What was your husband's name?" "Sir, his name was Sir Gilbert the Bastard, one of the best knights in the world." Yeah, okay.
Wow. He's obviously not as good as the other guy.
His name is Sir Gilbert the Bastard.
Now that, to be fair, that could totally just be an unfortunate nickname that got attached to him due to the less than ideal circumstances of his birth. He could just be a literal bastard.
He could be a little...
And everyone was just really fucking mean to him. And they're like, there goes old Gilbert, the guy whose dad ran off. You know? There goes old Gilbert, whose mom was a wench.
Anyways,
it's like, all right.
This lady, she says that Sir Gilbert's one of the best knights in the world. And then she says, "I do not know who killed him." So Lancelot says, "God send you better comfort." And then he leaves. He goes back to the forest and he finds a damsel. She saw him for a night, he was dressed like one, and said, "I found you, my lord, and now I need you. On your knighthood, help my badly injured brother. He won't stop bleeding. He fought Sir Gilbert the Bastard. He managed to kill him, but was badly wounded. There is a lady sorceress that dwells in the nearby castle. She told me today that my brother's wounds would never heal unless I could find a knight that would go into the Chapel Perilous and retrieve a sword and cloth covered in my brother's blood, and that the sword and cloth should heal my brother's wounds by sticking the sword and cloth in his wounds." Lancelot's like, "Fascinating. What is your brother's name?" "Sir Meliot de Logres."
Yeah.
Logres.
Delegru.
Delogre.
This is a French knight.
So.
Or he's Cajun. It's Lagre.
I don't know. Delogre. I think. I don't know.
Nobody knows.
Well,
the French don't know. They make it up every time they say it.
Lancelot hears that this is Sir Meliot, and he's like, "Oh no! He is one of my friends of the Round Table. I will do whatever I can to help you." So the lady says, "Then, sir, go down this road, and it will take you to the Chapel Perilous. I shall wait here until God sends you back. Just know, I don't know any knight that can do this task." That, astonishingly, take a guess how many paragraphs that was.
That was... Man, I'm afraid to undercut it and make it less impressive when you say it.
Undercut it.
I'm going to call it 2.
1.
There was no paragraph break in that whole
was
thing.
One passage. That whole chapter, one passage. You see? This is messed up, man.
Guys, this is not how you write a book. It's not how you do it. Well, I'm not saying you got to follow fucking, what do they call it? APA
guidelines.
Yeah, I'm not saying you got to do that with everything. Certainly some of their conventions I don't agree with, but good Lord. At the very least, paragraph break when dialogue speakers change.
Yes.
Have that.
That is the big one.
That's like I can keep track of who's talking.
When someone else talks, new paragraph.
New paragraph.
It doesn't matter if one person only says one sentence. If another person talks, line break.
I don't care if they get half a word out and the next guy's interrupting. Line break.
Line break.
Chapter 15. How Sir Lancelot came into the Chapel Perilous and gat there of a dead corpse, a piece of the cloth and the sword.
So, the Chapel Perilous is a spooky dungeon.
Yes. It's called Chapel Perilous.
We should elaborate. So, Lancelot rides into this chapel churchyard and he sees a bunch of shields hanging upside down.
Yeah.
He recognized these shields as ones worn by knights he knew. And then suddenly, there were 30 knights upon him, all grinning and gnashing their teeth at him.
So, the shields being upside down is pretty ominous.
Yeah.
That's incredibly disrespectful to put somebody's shield upside down. I mean,
kind of sounds it seems akin to putting the American flag upside down.
Yeah, and it's very much like, I mean, you see a guy, his shield, his heraldry in a graveyard upside down, and you make some assumptions.
That guy's cursed.
You're like, this guy's fucking dead. Somebody killed him.
This guy's zombie.
He was murdered, and now his shield's here upside down. And then you see the grinning and gnashing teeth thing. I'm like, that seems very ghoulish.
Yeah.
We got some undead problems here. Undead graveyard, guys. It's an undead graveyard in a cursed church.
So Lancelot sees all of these knights exhibiting feral-like behavior, so he readied his shield in front of him. They all had their swords and shields out too, somehow, even though their shields were hanging in the trees.
Yeah. These are their other shields.
And they were all wearing black armor.
Spooky.
And so he starts fighting them. Right when he would have hit them, they all dodged him and let him pass. So Lancelot goes into the chapel. So here's my interpretation of this. They're ghosts. He tried attacking them and he literally could not. And so they did like Luke Skywalker did in episode 8, where he was just like, pretending like he couldn't be hit.
Yeah.
That's what I think's happening right now.
Yeah, could be. Could be part of the curse. The magic of the curse is that it presents you with a situation where you have to fight people that you care about. So that's why it's like, oh, I know some of these guys, and they come at him. But by showing that he's willing to combat them, he's penetrated that magic somehow.
Maybe.
Where it's like, you wouldn't hit a dude with glasses, and you punch the guy with the glasses, you go, all right, fucking come on in.
Fuck, dude. Okay,
I didn't
you
think
hit
you
me.
would. Yeah, all right, come on in.
I guess you can come in. So Lancelot goes into the chapel. The only light source was a dim lamp, and he sees a corpse with silk cloth. So he swoops down, he cuts a piece of the cloth off, and then as soon as he does that, the ground shakes. And it scared him, of course, because that's kind of ominous.
Yeah.
So then he saw a dead knight with a sword. So he grabbed the sword and he ran out of there. When he was in the chapel's yard, all 30 of the spooky knights spoke to him in a grim voice. They said, "Knight, Sir Lancelot, lay down that sword or die." And so Lancelot says, Whether I live or die, you'll never speak again. Fight me for the sword. But of course, the knights were ghosts. So, I mean, at least that's what I think.
Yeah.
So he just went right through them. Outside the chapel, he met the damsel, and she said, Sir Lancelot, leave that sword behind, or you will die over it. And he said, I will not leave it for any reason. The damsel says, No? If you did leave it, Queen Guinevere would never know. Then if I were a fool, I would leave this sword. Now, gentle knight, I ask you to kiss me, just once. No, God forbids it.
Attaboy. Attaboy.
The damsel says, Well, sir, if only you had kissed me when I was young, but alas, I am not. I ordained this chapel for your sake, and Sir Gawain. I once had Sir Gawain within me. Sidebar. In her or in her chapel?
I'm afraid to clarify.
I once had Sir Gawain within me, and he fought that night, now lays dead in the chapel, Sir Gilbert the Bastard. I tell you now, Sir Lancelot, I have loved you for 7 years, but nobody can have your love but Queen Guinevere. If I can't have you alive, then there will be no more joy left in the world if I can't have you dead. I should have bombed you and served you when I was young, and clipped you and kissed you, despite Queen Guinevere. Let's parse that. Jealous.
So this is what you would call a pick-me girl. This is... If there was a textbook for pick-me girl, it's her.
Me.
Yeah. Me, I can do it. Me.
Gosh.
Not Queen Guinevere. Me.
I knew a woman like that. So, do you know the term for a woman that will bounce from firefighter to firefighter?
I did not know there was a specific term for such a woman.
Would you like to know it?
I would.
You call such a woman a pyro.
I see.
Pyros are women that bounce from firefighter to firefighter, much like a groupie would from bandmate to bandmate.
So it's the firefighter jargon for a homie hopper.
Is a pyro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's what this reminded me of.
Yeah. Well, I can at least admire, I'll say, her commitment to Lancelot.
Yeah.
Now she did apparently also pull this kind of shit with Gawain. But that clearly had no lasting impact.
I mean, we know that Gawain's a sloppy dude. So I don't imagine that had much of an effect on him.
No, he was probably like, cool, high five. And he like left.
Bye.
You know? He was like, I don't even remember your name. This didn't mean anything to me.
I'm going to go court another damsel now. Bye-bye.
Right. I've got a castle somewhere, I think. Like, I'm out. Got more things to do.
So this damsel's like, I should have clipped you and kissed you despite Queen Guinevere. And he's like, well said. Jesus preserve me from your magic. Then he got on his horse and bounced. According to the French book, when Lancelot left, she was so sad that she died within 2 weeks.
That is what mine says, is that she passed away from heartbreak.
The damsel's name was Heloise the Sorceress, Lady of the Castle Nigrimus.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so confused.
Yeah.
I feel like there's so much here that is
like,
not being conveyed.
Who the fuck is this?
Who the fuck are
Where
you,
did
Heloise?
she come from? Am I supposed to know what castle that it like?
Never heard of the Castle
Never
Nigrimus.
heard of it. There are some interesting things to note. Silk is very expensive.
Very.
Especially in England at this time.
Yeah. You got to get it from like the spice trade.
It has to come from China.
Yeah.
Like that's it. The only place you can get it is in Asia. So it's got to travel thousands of miles.
Uh-huh.
It's changing a lot of hands. It's a very treacherous journey. There's parts on ship. There's parts on foot. There's mountains you got to get through. Like it's a lot. So to have silk and then for it to just be chilling in a cursed church. And he's like, let me just cut this part off. You know, like just brazen. I think it illustrates a lack of greed. He didn't take the whole thing.
No, he just needed some.
He's like, I just need a little piece.
I just need a little bit.
And so he's like, I'm going to leave this. Even though it's a cursed church, I'm not going to just steal all the nice stuff that they have. I'm just getting what I need. Piece of the cloth and the sword.
Lancelot is not your standard adventurer who takes everything that's not bolted down.
He is not a loot goblin.
No. So, Lancelot met back up with the original damsel of this adventure, Sir Meliot's sister. She clapped her hands when she saw him and wept with joy. And then they both went to the castle where Meliot was, who was persistently bleeding a trickle of blood. It just wouldn't stop. And he was very pale, of course, because that's what happens when you're bleeding out.
Mm-hmm.
Meliot saw Lancelot and got on both knees. He cried, "Oh, Lord, Sir Lancelot, help me!" Lancelot did as the damsel first told him. He touched Sir Gilbert's wounds with the sword, and then wiped his wounds with some of the bloody cloth. Then, miraculously, he felt more whole than he ever had, and they all cheered. The next morning, he asked Sir Meliot to meet him at King Arthur's court at the Feast of Pentecost, and then he left. So this was not, what he did here was not how I interpreted what Meliot's sister told him to do.
Yeah, that he had to insert
the sword and cloth.
Yeah.
That's not what he did. And
No,
I'm
he
glad
just touched
he didn't
it.
do that.
Yeah, that would have seemed bad. This is a very clear-cut example of homeopathic magic, where, you know, it's a sword that caused the wound, so it's a sword that has to heal it. That's, you know, the hair of the dog that bit you is the cure. It's pretty clear-cut. I think the important takeaway from this is that several times Lancelot was told, drop the sword or you die.
He said no.
And he refused because he was getting this to begin with to save a friend.
Yeah.
Like, this is the level of sacrifice that Lancelot is willing to go to for the people that he cares about. He's like, I will die rather than leave him to be wounded.
I loved that retort where Heloise was like, no one will know if you leave it. And he's like, well, then if I were a fool, I would leave it.
Yeah, he was like, if I was stupid, I would.
So that's the end of that chapter. Would you like to take a guess? How many paragraphs was in that chapter?
That's a 4-paragraph chapter right there.
That's a 3-paragraph chapter right there.
Every time.
Chapter 16. How Sir Lancelot, at the request of a lady, recovered a falcon, by which he was deceived.
So I think this one probably is going to be, to me, the most amusing adventure of the episode.
This is a silly little adventure.
So this other time, after Lancelot rode through many strange lands, he found himself passing by a castle. As he passed, he heard 2 bells ring. Then he saw a falcon fly over him. It had long pieces of string attached to its feet, and it perched high up in an elm tree, and the string dangled low near the ground. Then the falcon went to take flight again, but the string got caught up in the tree. So now this falcon is hanging in the air, thrashing around, and Lancelot felt sorry for the bird. Because, you know, it just looked pitiful dangling in the tree like that.
It's just sad.
Very sad. So not before long, a lady came out of the castle, and she said, "Oh, Lancelot, Lancelot, flower of knights, please help me save my hawk. If my hawk is lost, my lord will kill me. I take care of the hawk, but she slipped from me. If my lord husband finds out, oh, he's so nasty. He'll kill me if he finds out. He really will."
Terrible situation.
Terrible situation for her.
Yeah.
Lancelot's like, "What is your lord's name?" She's like, "Sir, his name is Sir Felot, a knight that longs to be the king of North Gallis." Your eyes got wide there.
I'm trying to think of how to explain this. There's no way Lancelot could say anything to get out of doing whatever she asked as soon as she said, like, my husband's a dick.
Yeah.
And also he wants to be the king of North Gallis.
Yeah.
Because now there's a woman in danger.
Yeah.
And the person putting her in danger is a threat to King Arthur.
Yeah.
And so he's just like, well, I'm between a rock and a hard place here. Like, I have to do whatever it is. Not that he would have seen it that way. He would have been like, yes, a chance to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Because he's just like the fucking Mary Sue of the story. He's like, I got to do everything right all the time.
He really is.
Yeah. I don't say that in a negative way. Like, he constantly succeeds. Nobody can ever beat him. And he's just like the greatest guy ever. But it's you got to remember he's cucking the king. So like, he's not perfect. There's a character flaw here. There's still a character flaw, but he's an endearing character nonetheless. But even if he had been a lesser man, still like, there's no way out of this. You're just like, oh, great. Right. Well, tell me what to do.
Yeah. And he says, well, fair lady, since you know who I am and you asked me to help you, I shall do what I can to get your hawk. But God knows I am an ill climber, and this is a tall tree with few branches to help me climb. There's another flaw. He's not good at climbing.
That's true. Well, he could just be being humble.
So he gets off his horse, ties it to the elm tree, and then asks the lady to help him remove his armor. Once his armor was off...
Yeah, you're not going to climb a tree in armor, man.
No. This episode is not brought to you by Reddit.
It's not. Reddit has absolutely no idea who we are or what we do.
Yeah. I make Reddit posts sometimes. We have a subreddit. Not that anybody is aware of that. So I guess now...
I wasn't even aware of that.
Yeah, hey guys, we have a subreddit.
I should get on that subreddit.
It's called Functionally Illiterate. It's got one subscriber, me. I post all the episodes on there for posterity.
I will, at some point in the future, get on there and make contrarian posts.
Cool.
So
sounds good.
that's what I'll do.
It's like, hey guys, if you like this podcast and you like Reddit, check that out. That's not why I brought this up. I want to talk specifically about Reddit ads.
Reddit ads.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So here's the thing about Reddit ads. They look like posts, but you can tell that they're ads because, of course, you can tell that they're ads.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody, if you're an adult anyways, can tell what an ad looks like. Other than the adness, like, the marketing lingo in the title, and then like, the clearly ad-based like marketing as the picture. It looks like a post. You can upvote it and downvote it, and it has a comment section. The comment section is usually disabled, wisely. Can you imagine what a comment section...
I was hoping this was actually going to be you going, and here's some of the comments that were underneath.
Oh, no, I'm going to tell you.
That would be hilarious.
Well, here's the thing. Sometimes those advertisers forget to disable the comment section.
Oh boy.
So you know what's in there?
What's in there?
Dicks and gay sex.
Nice.
Yep.
I've never simultaneously been more proud and more ashamed of Reddit as I am right now.
Now, of course, not an actual dick, not actual gay sex. It's a lot of dots strategically placed to look like a big erect penis or gay sex, as well as myriads of nonsense copy pastas. So what I've started doing whenever I notice one of these comment sections that is enabled, I advertise the podcast.
Nice.
I'm like, hey, you know what would probably be more interesting than this silly ad where they want you to like take a quiz to figure out what your body mass type is, and or these stupid mobile phone games. You know what would be more interesting than that? This book club podcast. You should check it out. It's called Functionally Literate. We talk about like King Arthur and stuff.
I think you have inadvertently invited a group of people that are predisposed to post dicks and gay sex to interact with our podcast. And for that, I do apologize to the other people that might be getting on our now known, publicly aware subreddit.
Well, now let's be clear
It
here.
Might be full of dicks and gay sex.
No, hold on. Now let's be clear here. You can do that, but I'm going to remove it. I'm the moderator.
And
also, like, if you try and go posting that shit on Spotify, that ain't going to fly because I have to approve the comment. And obviously, you can't go posting that shit to YouTube. I think that'll get you banned.
It might. I just think the target audience there is... There may not be much overlap, but there might be. There could be.
There's a little bit.
If you like to leave comments of dicks and gay sex and like books, please check out the podcast. It would be great.
Yeah, that'd be great. We'd love that. We
But
love
please
you.
don't show up just to like post.
Yeah,
dicks and
please,
gay
no
sex
gay
and
sex,
stuff.
no dicks, no anti-Semitic stuff. We don't want any of that here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, if you, as you can tell, we don't have any sponsors. So if you'd like to support the podcast, there are ways to do that in the episode description. We've got a Patreon, we've got a PayPal, we've got affiliate links in the episode description. So if you want to read the book that we are currently reading, you can click on that link and support us while making a purchase for yourself. We get a little bit of a kickback when you do that. Did I forget anything, Zach?
I don't think so.
Oh wait, oh yes, I did. The email. If you want to sponsor us, if you're a person that's capable of offering us a sponsorship, you can email us at funk.lit.pod@gmail.com. That is func.lit.pod@gmail.com. Back to the show. So once all of his armor was off, he took off his clothes and put that in the armor. This part I'm confused about. I don't understand that bit.
If I'm assuming that there's a reason, and we're just trying to find the reason, maybe the clothes are a little ill-fitted, right? They're a little loose, and he's like, these are going to snag on the bark. They're going to get like twisted up in some of the little twigs, and that's going to make it even harder to climb. Or it could just be, it's hot. You know, I'm going to climb this tree. I'm going to go get this bird. Like, I'm going to be sweating. I don't want to sweat through all that stuff. It could also mean not stripping naked, but, you know, there are specific items of clothing you would wear underneath armor. Like, you don't just, you're not shirtless and then you put on your chainmail and then slap on your breastplate.
That would be...
Right, you're wearing a gambeson underneath that, and that's pretty thick stuff. So maybe it just means like he took off his gambeson, he still had like his pants and a tunic on, but
maybe. So with all of his strength, he climbs up to the falcon. When he reached it, he untangled the strings and then tied them to one of the branches that was dead and rotting. He broke off that branch and threw it down,
Clever.
taking the hawk down to the ground with it. I thought so too.
Very smart.
I've never heard of that.
Very smart.
Yeah.
Also points out the fact that means there's parts of this tree that are rotting.
It is.
Not the most stable tree.
So, once the lady had the hawk in her hands, Sir Fellet arrives. He just appears out of the nearby groves, and he was armored, and he had his sword drawn. And he said, "Oh, Sir Lancelot, now I've found you, as I knew I would. At the base of this tree, I shall kill you." Lancelot, still in the tree, says to the woman, "Ah, lady, why have you betrayed me?"
Yeah. Like, what the hell, lady? I was trying to help. You suck.
Sir Fellet says, "She has done only as I told her to do. Now come down here. The hour has come that you must die." And Lancelot said, "That is shameful. You are an armed knight, and you would slay a naked man through trickery and treason?" He says he's naked. So I'm wondering, I feel like he must be wearing underwear.
I mean, it would be indecent to fully disrobe in front of a married woman.
Right.
So I have to assume he's not doing that. But that does point out more that he's less clothed than is probably ideal. I think that's more symbolic of a kind of vulnerability. Like they're really going out of their way here to narratively show like this is how precarious a situation Lancelot's in. Like he has no protection.
No.
You know, like symbolically, if somebody is naked, that means vulnerable. It'd be very easy to hurt them.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's naked in this tree. And like, well, there's only one way down, and it's to that guy.
And he's like, "You would slay a naked man through trickery and treason?" And Sir Fellet's like, "You'll get no grace from me. Help yourself if you can."
Cold.
Lancelot's like, "That is truly shameful. Well, since you'll do nothing else, take my harness with you and hang my sword on a tree limb so I can get it. And then you can do your best to kill me if you can." And Sir Fellet's like, Nah. I know better than that. You get no weapon. I'll keep you from it."
Yeah, he's like, "No, you're Lancelot, bro. Like, you think I'm fucking stupid? You think I'm an idiot? I know what you'll do."
I know.
No, sir.
No. There will
Also,
be
that might still be the magic sword from the cursed church. We don't know. We don't know. He's like, "No, that thing's made out of fucking lightning bolts or something. Like, can't have that."
So Sir Fellet's just like, "You come down here and let me kill you." And Lancelot's like, "Nah, it's a shame for a knight to die weaponless. Nuh-uh." And so he didn't climb out of the tree right away. He looked around, he looked down, he looked up, he sees another dead branch over his head. So he broke it off, and then he climbed a little lower. He assessed, his surroundings, and then leapt down, careful not to land on his own horse, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, soon as he lands, Sir Felot slashed at him, intending to just outright kill him.
Yep.
But Sir Lancelot is a skilled knight, even naked with only a branch to defend himself. It happened so fast. If this was D&D, this would have been a round, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Felot swings at him, Lancelot parries, and then whacks him on the side of the head with the branch. Felot falls down.
Classic.
He steals Felot's sword, cuts his head off.
There you go.
That's it.
That's how you do it.
Done.
The disrespect of killing a man with his own weapon.
So then the lady cries, "Why have you killed my husband?"
That's a dumb question.
That is a dumb question.
Dumb question.
I felt that way too. And so Lancelot's like, "This isn't my fault. You would have seen me dead with your falsehood and treachery, and now it has fallen on you both." So that last bit, "and now it has fallen on you both," that is a direct quote. And I put it in there because I thought it was interesting how she responded, right? Because she thought that he was saying that he was going to kill her now.
Right.
And so fearing for her death, she fainted.
Fair.
So with nothing else to do but kill the lady, which of course he would never do.
Right.
He put on his clothes and his armor as quick as he could because he was scared that Sir Felot's castle was nearby.
Yeah,
and
one of his buddies would come out and be like, "Hey!"
Yeah, someone else would try to fight him while he was
Ride
naked.
Him down. Yeah, naked.
So as soon as he was dressed, he got on his horse and left, thanking God that he had escaped that adventure. And I'm just left thinking, this is just silly nonsense that someone made up.
Yeah, this is just and then he was naked in a tree. He jumped down, and Knight was like, "I'm gonna get you," and he's like,
"I got caught naked in a tree.
I beat him up with a stick." You're like, that was the rest of this story has been when you're telling your kids a bedtime story, but you had all day to think about it.
Yeah.
This last one is after the first story with the cool cursed castle and the healing the friend, and you're like, that had a good moral to it. I'm glad I told my kids that, my son's going to take good lessons from that. And then he's like, "One more, Dad." And you're like, fuck. And you got to ad-lib some shit. And you're just like, and then there was a lady whose bird was in the tree.
So
he's like, "I got to take all my armor off and leave my sword. I'm going to go climb this tree to help the bird out of the tree." I don't know why the bird can't get it. It was tangled in the tree.
Dude, it had string on it for some reason.
Yeah, it had some fucking string, and then he threw it down. Then a guy came out of the bush and was like, "I'm gonna get you." And he's like, "What's happening?" He's like, you don't have anything now. Ha ha. And so then he grabbed a stick and he jumped down, and whacked him, and the lady's like, "My husband!" And then
Why
fainted.
Would you kill my husband?
And he rode away.
Like,
all right, good night.
Lady, you know why your husband's dead.
Yeah.
You know why your husband's dead. Don't play.
Yeah.
How many paragraphs do you think that was?
That's 3 paragraphs.
You're right. It's 3 paragraphs.
Nice.
Chapter 17. How Sir Lancelot overtook a knight which chased his wife to have slain her, and how he said to him,
Sir Lancelot rode through the lands, going on many more adventures. One day, as he rode through a valley, he saw a knight chasing a lady with his sword drawn, intending to kill her. Fortunately for the lady, Lancelot was there.
That's right. That's a bad look.
So she calls out to him and prays. He rescues her. So Sir Lancelot, being who he is, he sees this happening, and he rides his horse in between the lady and the knight, and he says, "For shame, Sir Knight! Why would you slay this lady? You bring shame unto yourself and all knights." And this knight's like, "What's it to you to get between me and my wife? I will slay her in spite of what you think."
Dick, dude. That's a guy. That guy's a dick.
That guy's a dick.
Rude.
And Lancelot's like, "You will not. I rather think we will fight instead."
I like how politely that seems.
Yeah.
He was just like, I would prefer instead, actually, we engage in Mortal Kombat.
Knight's like,
all right.
"Sir Lancelot, you don't know your place. This lady has betrayed me." And the lady's
all right.
like,
Now we're getting some tea.
The lady, she gives us the tea. She's like, "That's not true. He has wronged me. That is the truth. He thinks that I am cheating on him with my cousin just because I love and cherish him. But let me tell you, as I've told him, God knows there was never a sin between us. Sir, if you truly are Sir Lancelot, said to be the most honorable knight in the world, I ask you to save me and protect me. Nothing you say will stop him from killing me. He is without mercy. Lancelot's like, have no doubt. He no longer has the power to do so.
Man.
So the knight replied, and I'm not clear on the meaning, so this is a direct reply from the knight. He said, Sir, in your sight I will be ruled as ye will have me.
I take that to mean he's like deferring to Lancelot's judgment.
Which is, okay,
Which is like, well, he's just saying like, look, man, whatever you think is right, that's what we'll do. So you think we got to fight? We'll fight.
So then this next bit is a little confusing, but here's what I think the text was saying.
Yeah.
And you read a version in Modern Idiom, so you can tell me after. So Lancelot rode toward the knight. The knight was on one side and the lady was on the other. And so before they could even start fighting, the knight said, Sir Lancelot, look behind you. There come men of arms after us. And so Sir Lancelot, the dumb dope, he didn't doubt the knight at all. Like, he turned to look and the horse kept riding. And so because he was no longer between the man and the woman and distracted, the knight cut off his wife's head. Lancelot heard this and turned, and when he saw what had happened, he was like, you traitor, you have shamed me forever. So what did your book say?
That's exactly what happened.
That's exactly what happened.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. He was just like, look, over there. And he looks, and he just shoop,
It's like the
cuts her head off.
fucking oldest trick in the book. Maybe this was the start of that. Look, over there!
Yeah, but I mean, has anyone ever done that to you?
Trying to...
People have done it to me. Gets me every fucking
Does
time.
it really?
Every time. Because if they pull it off well, like the human reaction is like, what's happening?
Right.
You know? Like if someone's like, "Ah," you go, "What?" You can't help it. It's reflex.
It's a reflex.
And so because like typically if someone goes, "Ah," and there's nothing there, but you look, what happens? Nothing bad.
No.
You know, they're just like, "Ah, you idiot, we got you." But if someone's like, "Ah, look," and you go, "Nice try," what's the worst that could happen? Someone could smack you in the fucking head, you know?
I mean,
like
he did say there were men of arms coming after
right, like
them.
terrible things. It could be a car, could just run you over because you didn't see it.
But yeah, as the text originally said, it was Lancelot, suspecting no treachery,
Right.
looked.
He was just like, why would he? Ah, you bastard.
Like, this is the worst case scenario of that, right? It's like,
Yes.
look over there, shink.
yeah,
like-
murders potentially innocent person.
So Lancelot dismounts his horse, draws his sword to go kill the knight. The knight falls prone, grabs Lancelot by the legs, and calls mercy. What a fucking coward.
Pussy.
Lancelot's like,
Own up to that shit, dude.
Lancelot's like, shame on you, knight. You will have no mercy from me. Get up and fight me. And the coward, he's like, nay.
I will not.
I will never rise till you grant me mercy. Lancelot-
There's two ways to read this.
Yeah.
There's what a little bitch. You know, like he knows Lancelot's too good a person to kill him while he's on his knees. So he's like, I'm not getting up. I won't do it. I won't do it.
Gawain would
So
do
he's
it.
like manipulate. Oh, Gawain would. Gawain absolutely. Gawain would have wrote up and be like, she cheated on you for real? Killed her. Found out later he lied, killed him, and would have slept a sound to sleep. He like did my best.
Well, it seems to me, lady, that you are to blame for loving your cousin.
Yeah, he would have been like, well, hey, fucking, he lied to me. What do you want? You know?
But Lancelot, though.
Lancelot, he would never slay a man on the ground. And this guy knows it. The other way to read this is he was right. And now he's begging for mercy and refusing to fight because he knows he was in the right and he knows long-term Lancelot will forgive him. And he's not willing to die for having done the right thing. But that's a very forgiving way. That's if you're like, I want this guy to be a good guy. You got to kind of force that interpretation.
I mean, see, this is one of those things that, and like, I feel like I've always disagreed with other men when it comes to this kind of thing, right? Like, cheating sucks. Like,
Yeah.
like it's never a good feeling when someone cheats on you. Like, I remember even my dad would say, like, So I'm gonna So I'm gonna like kind of relate this on a personal level to kind of explain my feelings on it. So my dad, he was married twice.
Mm-hmm.
His second time, obviously, to my mother. First time was to this woman who eventually turned out to be a lesbian. It wasn't great because
Yeah, it feels bad.
like it felt like something out of Friends, right? Because so his first wife went to therapy and through therapy discovered she was gay and then fell in love with her therapist.
Ooh.
Not great.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, I lay a lot of that blame on the therapist.
Yeah.
It's like, that's an inappropriate
Super
relationship between a therapist and their client.
Super inappropriate. And my dad was like, if she had been a man, I would have killed her. But I could not compete because I did not have the equipment. Was how he looked at it.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
like
okay.
even then, even as a child, like just the logic did not feel sound to me. And it's like why would you like I get it. Like I get being upset that like the person you love is like, you know, fooling around with somebody else and probably falling in love with somebody else. But like I'm not mad at the other person. I'm mad at the person I'm in love with for cheating on me.
Yeah.
So I understand, I guess, this guy wanting to kill his spouse for cheating on her with her cousin, but the impression I'm getting is that he didn't know that for sure.
Yeah.
And also, like, what good does killing her do? Just get divorced and move on. Granted, divorce isn't a thing in this time.
Right.
But I don't know. I feel like there's a better way to handle this.
There is. So, man, this gets tricky theologically for me.
All right, let's hear the theological argument.
Because I cannot support divorce in any circumstance.
Okay.
You can be separated. And so basically it's like, your wife cheated on you and you'd be like, yeah, fuck that bit, like divorce. I'm like, nah, you can't do that. And it's not because it's like, suck it up, dude. Like, you gotta fucking do it. It's just like, the idea is that it's not actually possible. Like, we can't do it. It's not that we don't want to let you do it. It's that it isn't possible.
So you get married once and then you're done?
That's it.
So if you're separated, what are your options at that point? You're just stuck?
That's where it gets rough. Is you're still expected to abide by your marriage vows to the person that you married, even if they suck.
Man, I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough.
Know, man.
But that's a hard pill to swallow. You know, but the idea is like if my wife ever fooled around on me,
God forbid,
or just decided that she was like, I'm done with your ass, then it's like, well, I can't get remarried. You know? So there is a thing that people call Catholic divorce. It's not really Catholic divorce. It's not divorce in any way.
But that's the term.
That's like the flippant thing that people call it. The technical term is annulment. But to go through the annulment process in the church is like, it's like a legal case.
Whoa.
Like a diocesan priest has to take up your case for you and argue it to a tribunal. And the case you're trying to make is not that the marriage ought to be dissolved, because that's not possible. The case you're trying to make is it was an invalid marriage from the beginning and therefore has no hold. So in this case, what this guy could do, because these people were Catholic before that had to be a term because there was only one church then.
Right.
No one had split away yet. We had to have a different word for it. If he could prove, so the four tenets that the Catholic Church teaches, this is what marriage has to be, is it has to be free, total, faithful, and fruitful. So free means you have to have been willing to do it. You couldn't,
not an arranged marriage.
Well, no shotgun marriages.
No shotgun marriage.
Arranged is still fine as long as you agree to have it arranged.
Okay.
You know, like if you're like, yes, Dad, find me a husband, that's fine.
Wait, so hold on. Free, faithful.
Free, total, faithful, and fruitful.
Total.
So the total means you have to agree it's for life.
Okay.
Like, you can't put conditions on. It's like, we're married unless you become fucking poor, and then I get to leave.
It's till death do us part.
It's till death do you part.
Okay.
No conditions. Faithful, you can't go around sleeping with other people. Like, you can't marry somebody else. I'm the one. That's it. And fruitful means you have to at least be open to life. Obviously, not everybody can have kids, but it's like you can't try to not have kids. The point is that if you're going to have sex, you got to admit that kids could come along, and you got to be willing to accept that responsibility should it happen.
Mm-hmm.
So in an annulment case, if you can prove
Any of
that
those.
either party did not or knowingly obscured the fact that they weren't fulfilling those from the other person, then it was not a valid marriage to begin with. So if that woman and that man got married and she was actively cheating on him
Like the whole time.
with her cousin, or had the intention to cheat, was like, hadn't been cheating when they got married, but in her mind was like, yeah, I would.
I'm going to totally get with
I
my
would
cousin.
definitely, like, I'm marrying him because, whatever, it's good for me.
But I'm porking my cousin.
Right, but I'm going to
do
go
it.
have sex with some other guy as soon as I get the chance. Then she was not faithful, and that's an invalid marriage. But that's a long process to go through. It could take years to get that. So he was
rather
just
than
like,
that, he's
I'll just kill her.
I'm just gonna
because
kill her.
if she's dead, then he can go get remarried again because he fulfilled his marriage vows. It was till death did they part, and she's dead, so we're parted now.
Well, Lancelot was not here for this
No.
at all.
That's not how you get. They call that divorce Italian style.
So, Lancelot, this guy is, anyways, getting back to the story, this guy is holding Lancelot by his calves and is like, mercy, mercy.
Yeah.
And,
Please don't kill me.
and Lancelot's like, how's this for mercy? I'll take off my armor and have nothing but my clothes and sword and free hand. If you can't kill me, then you will die. At least I think that's what he was saying.
Yep.
Like, the original text was, and if thou canst slay me, quit be thou forever.
Yes.
So I interpreted that
Yeah,
correctly.
yeah, that's what mine says. He was
Okay.
just like, I'll take off any bit of protection I have. I won't carry a shield. Just my sword and some clothing. How about that? Just to level the playing field.
I don't like that he is like, because he's determined to kill this guy, and he's like, all right, fine. I'll give myself a handicap for you, you coward.
It was really, he was trying to goad him into the fight.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to kill you so bad, but I have to do it in a way that doesn't dishonor me.
Yeah.
Like, I can't sink to your level to do it.
Yeah. So he's like, I will handicap myself, and then we'll fight.
I'll give
He's
you
like,
every advantage.
He's like,
Just
no,
fight
sir.
me.
Nope, I will not do
He's
this.
not stupid. He's like, I'll still lose.
And so then he's like, then you will take this lady and her head. You will swear on your sword to bear this burden and never to rest until you reach Queen Guinevere. So the cowardly knight says, sir, I will do that by the faith of my body. So Lancelot nods, and he's like, now tell me, what is your name? Sir, my name is Pedivere. You were born in a shameful hour. And that's it. That's the
For whatever
conversation.
reason, he's like, I'm Pedivere and fuck you.
So,
Okay.
so, because he was honorable enough to do this, despite lacking the honor to not kill his wife out of jealousy, Pedivere left with his wife's head and body and found Guinevere with King Arthur at Winchester. It was there that he told the story of what happened. Sir Knight, the queen said, this is a horrible and shameful deed, not to mention a great rebuke on Sir Lancelot. This is what I shall have you do for penance. You will bear this lady with you on horseback to the Pope of Rome and ask him for penance for your foul deeds. You will not rest unless her body lies with you. Swear on it. So Sir Pedivere swore to ride to the Pope with his wife's head and body, and to never rest without the body by his side. Sounds disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a quick trip to Rome.
To Rome? Like,
We're talking months.
We've established in the last story that to get to Rome, first you gotta go to Sandwich.
Yeah.
And then you gotta ride across the Thames, and then you've got to travel all across Europe. You gotta go through France, You gotta go through Spain, I think. No,
No, Spain would be south. You gotta go
France,
through
Germany.
France. There's a couple smaller, like Germany, a few smaller countries that probably didn't exist then. You're going through a lot of like Gaulish territory.
You're going through Europe
Yeah, into northern Italy and then down the peninsula
with a
to Rome.
decaying corpse.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
And there's a lot of temperature swings in there. Like you're going through the Alps. So it's cold, maybe not so bad there, but then you're coming down into the Mediterranean. It's going to get hot. It's humid. It's not good.
I
Not
hope
good.
he didn't have to like literally do it that way. I hope he had like a box. I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyways, according to the French book, when he arrived in Rome, the Pope commanded the lady be buried. Thank goodness. I don't
About
understand.
time. About time.
And then he sent Pedivere back to Queen Guinevere. After that, Pedivere spent his life repenting as a holy man and a hermit.
So it's in retrospect that it makes me think maybe he wasn't full of shit when he said my wife was cheating on me, because that's a lot of stuff to go through. And at any point, he could have just been like, I'm done. I'm not doing it. Like he could have just stayed in Rome.
Yeah.
Lived in Rome. Never gone to the Pope. Pope didn't know who the fuck he was.
No.
He could have just been like, and I'm never going home. And for all Queen Guinevere knows, he went to Rome, he did his penance, and he just stayed there.
I mean, he could have just agreed to Lancelot, been like, yeah, okay, I'll do that,
Yeah,
and then
not
fuck off.
gone. Like
Yeah.
it's the fact that he held to his word every other time in the story
Yeah.
that makes me think he wasn't lying then.
Yeah.
Now, that does still leave the option he was mistaken.
I feel...
She was innocent, and he really did believe it was happening.
I feel... I mean, we'll never know.
No.
Right? And it's fiction anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
My feeling is that she was genuine and he was jealous.
Could have been.
That is my feeling. I think it's a shame.
You know, I bet that fucking cousin is a rat. I bet her cousin had the hots for her, and he went to him and was like, guess what? I fucked your wife.
Oh, God.
What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it, you little bitch? And then he said, I'll kill that whore. And then he chased her, and he was like, oh, that's not what I thought would happen. I thought he would leave her, and then I would just get her. Because that's how those idiots think, you know? They're like, if I can get that chick to break up with her boyfriend, she'll be with me.
So
that's never how it works.
Would you like to take a guess how many paragraphs that chapter was?
Oh, that's a fiver. That's 5 or 6 paragraphs right there.
Sure ain't.
Damn.
Good old 3.
3. Man, they like to rule of 3.
Good old
3s.
Chapter 18. How Sir Lancelot came to King Arthur's court, and how they were recounted all his noble feats and acts.
So we turn our attention back to Sir Lancelot. He returned to the king's court 2 days before the Feast of Pentecost. The king and the court, obviously, were very happy that he'd returned. When all the knights he fought in Kay's armor saw that it wasn't Kay, but Lancelot, who had beaten them, they all laughed and smiled. Which I don't know about that. I feel like there'd be some sore feelings, but I don't know. Maybe they're
I think they were just relieved that it wasn't really Kay.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, thank God, I lost to Lancelot. That's fine. Like, that's fine. Whew.
Yeah. So I want to let's just parse what's going to happen here, right? Because this chapter, like this whole story, right? Anytime Lancelot does something impressive, he's like, go to Camelot by Pentecost.
Yes.
He's been doing that the whole story.
Yeah. Every night he's defeated, every friend he's saved, he's like, show up then.
So that's what's happening here.
Yeah.
Right? Like, starting with the knights who were imprisoned by Sir Turquoise. They all came, and they all honored and blessed him. And so then Sir Gaheris, who obviously he's there, he heard them honor Lancelot, so he said to Arthur, I saw the whole thing, the whole battle from start to finish. And then he told King Arthur everything that happened, and how Turquoise was the strongest knight he'd ever seen, save for Lancelot. And then 60 knights who were imprisoned, they corroborated the tale. Then Kay told Arthur how Lancelot had rescued him when he should have died. He made the knights yield to me, not to him, but me. And then the 3 knights who yielded, they were there, as Lancelot had told them to do, and they confirmed the story. And by Jesus, Kay said, because Lancelot took my horse and gear and left me with his, I rode peaceably. No man would fight me. So then the 3 knights Lancelot fought on the bridge came, and they yielded to Sir Kay, and Sir Kay cried off because he didn't fight any of them. And then he said to them, but I'll ease your heart. You see Sir Lancelot over there? He beat you. And the knights were relieved. So then Sir Meliot arrived and told Arthur how Lancelot had saved him. And then Arthur heard the story of how 4 witch queens had imprisoned Lancelot, and how King Bagdemagus' daughter had saved him. And then he heard the story of how Lancelot fought for Bagdemagus, slaying many of the King of Northgalis' men. Sir Gahalantine was also there. He told Arthur of how he, Sir Mador de la Porte, and Sir Mordred were defeated in that same fight. I do wonder if Arthur knows his bastard child's name is Mordred. Or if maybe he's just aware of Mordred, but he doesn't know the affiliation.
I think he knows.
You think he knows?
I think he knows.
Interesting. Sir Mordred wasn't there.
Yeah.
Sir Gahalantine was there and told Arthur about this. So then the lady from the whole debacle with Sir Bellius arrived. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
She arrived and told Arthur about the misunderstanding that happened with Bellius, and to Arthur's amusement, Lancelot asked that Sir Bellius be made a Knight of the Round Table, which he did, if for no other reason than I think because of how amusing the story was.
Yeah.
And so that was how Sir Lancelot was honored as the greatest, most famous knight in the world. The end.
Oh, those are some good stories.
Would you like to take a guess how many paragraphs that was?
That is 1 paragraph.
Nope.
2 paragraphs.
Nope.
3 paragraphs.
Yep.
God, it's always 3. I never guess 3 because I'm like, well, the last one was 3. They're just all 3. It's
Not
all 3.
of them. That one was 1.
That's true.
But so
they break the pattern just enough to keep you guessing.
So in italics at the end of that paragraph, it says, explicit the noble tale of Sir Lancelot du Lake, which is the 6th book. Here followeth the tale of Sir Gareth of Orkney, that was called Beaumains by Sir Kay, and is the 7th book. So that's the story of Lancelot. How do we feel about that story?
I like that story.
I liked most of that story.
I like it's a good bit of. I think it's a good mix of like drama and suspense and humor.
I agree. I think there was more humor in this story than in most of them.
Yeah, I agree. Part of that I think is the fact that Lancelot wins every fight.
Yeah. So, you've got
there's just
opportunity
less
for levity.
Yeah, there's less serious tension where
Yeah.
you're like, I mean, he's gonna win.
I liked Sir Turquine as a villain. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
I thought the whole thing with the sorceress queens was very fun.
that was funny.
It's when we get to this bit where Lancelot's just going on all of these little adventures that it gets a little odd for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a lot of those stories felt very superfluous.
Yeah. I think they each kind of show a different aspect of Lancelot's character, in good ways and in bad. I mean, even the last one, like falling for the, hey, look, is like, yes, he's the most powerful knight, but he's also kind of gullible.
Lancelot would fall for that.
Yeah, he's kind of naive. I think it's his success that creates that naivety, where it's like, never has him falling for something negatively impacted an outcome because he's always been able to just like win anyway.
That is interesting, actually, now that you mention it. Like, all of his adventuring ends on a low note.
Yeah.
Like,
it's at the very end, it's like, but that woman did get killed.
Yeah.
And it's like, shit.
He had a spotless record until then.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of foreshadowing where Lancelot does a lot of things very well, but he will ultimately fail.
Yeah.
I I'd have to dig into it a little more. I do think the adventure to Chapel Perilous with the sword and the silk and healing Meliot, I do think that is sort of a small metaphor for the tale of the death of Arthur altogether.
You think so?
Brachets tend to symbolize love. We've talked about that before.
We have.
But this one specifically is a black brachet. So it's sort of the shadow version of that, the inversion, which I think alludes to his love for Guinevere, it being not good because she's a married woman. It leads him to a dead knight and his weeping wife, and he can do nothing to help them.
Yeah.
That to me is King Arthur, who will ultimately die, and Guinevere, who will lament his death, and it will happen because Lancelot was not there when the battle took place, and he can't do anything to fix it. And ultimately, she'll reject Lancelot too.
Yeah.
So, and then it leads him to a chapel, which, spoilers, at the end of all this, Lancelot becomes a hermit in a monastery.
He does.
So
he does. So I don't know why I did this, but I did skip to the end and read the final story.
yeah,
I did do that. I don't know why I did that, but I did do that.
if you're analyzing a story, it's helpful.
Yeah.
Because it can help pick out the foreshadowing and the symbolisms. Like, if I may have said this on the podcast before, but if you're studying a book, a text, and I mean studying, like you're reading it because you want to know about that thing.
Much like we are right now.
Yeah. It's good practice to read it through 3 times.
I can tell you right now, I'm not going to do that with this.
No, well, I think I'm on my second read through of this now.
Yeah.
Like I powered through it when we first started.
Yeah.
I just read the whole story. And then as we do each new episode, I go back and I read it again and I take more notes. But it's helpful because the first time you really don't want to be analyzing it.
Nah.
Because one, that takes the fun out of reading it. Like just read the story and enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
If you really have to like do something, especially if you're not confident with reading, you're sort of new to it, it helps at the end of each chapter to just like write a short little, in your own words, like what happened, just to help you remember the story itself. Then the second time you read through, now you're familiar with the plot. There's no surprises or twists that like you're going to ruin for yourself. Now you're paying attention, like, where is the foreshadowing? What does this symbolize? How does this connect? What associations do I make between this thing in the beginning and what happened here later? How did they set up the twist that I didn't see coming, and how could I have figured that out? And so that's your second read through. Then the third read through is really the like, what message is the author trying to give? What point are they trying to drive home? How are they trying to make that point? And do I agree?
I think my favorite part of this story, this with Lancelot specifically, was the misunderstanding with Bellius. That genuinely made me laugh so hard. And my wife was just like, "What's so funny?" And I told her, and she was like, "Fucking Lancelot."
He can't help that he's just a handsome snack of a man, okay? He can't help he is a beautiful example of masculinity.
Yeah.
He is a virile specimen.
So, I don't know what we're going to be covering next, but I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope that you'll come back. We love doing this. We hope you love listening.
See you next time.